Welcome to LES Learn English Through Story. I'm Harry, your host for today's adventure. Have you ever wondered what happens when two countries can't agree on where their border should be? Picture this: ancient temples, proud soldiers, and a mystery that has lasted for more than a century. Get ready, everyone, because this story will take you on an exciting journey about the Thai and Cambodian border conflict. A real-life drama that shows us how history, culture, and politics can create big problems between neighboring countries. After our story, we will review some useful vocabulary that will help you understand international news better. But first, let me hand you over to my colleague Tom, who will take us through this fascinating and sometimes dangerous tale. Tom, the stage is yours.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tom, and I'm excited to share this incredible story with you today. This is a true story about two countries that share a border, but they can't agree on exactly where that border should be. It's like two neighbors fighting over where their fence should go, but much more serious. Chapter 1: The Ancient Temple. Our story begins with a beautiful temple called Preah Vihear. This temple is over 1,000 years old. It sits on top of a mountain between Thailand and Cambodia. The temple was made of stone and has amazing carvings of gods and dancers. For many centuries, people from both countries visited this holy place to pray and worship. But here's where the problem starts. Both Thailand and Cambodia say the temple belongs to them. Thailand says this temple is on our land. Cambodia says, no, this temple is ours. This disagreement is like two children fighting over the same toy. Neither country wants to give up their claim to this precious temple. The temple became a symbol of national pride for both countries. When people see Preah Vihear, they think about their history, their culture, and their identity. This makes the conflict much more emotional than just a simple border dispute. Chapter 2: The Colonial Map Problem. To understand this conflict, we need to go back in time to the early 1900s. At that time, France controlled Cambodia, and Britain had influence over Thailand. These European powers needed to draw clear borders between the countries they controlled. In 1904 and 1907, French and British officials made maps showing where the border should be. They drew a line that put Preah Vihear Temple on the Cambodian side. But here's the problem. They didn't ask the local people what they thought. The people living near the temple had been moving back and forth across this area for generations. Thailand accepted these maps at first. But as time passed, Thai people began to question them. They said, wait a minute, these maps were made by foreigners who didn't understand our history. Maybe they made a mistake. This disagreement about old colonial maps became the root of the modern conflict. Chapter 3: The Court Decision. In 1959, Cambodia took this dispute to the International Court of Justice in the Netherlands. This is like taking a neighborhood argument to the highest judge in the world. Cambodia wanted to prove that Preah Vihear Temple really belonged to them. The court case lasted 3 years. Lawyers from both countries presented old maps, historical documents, and evidence. Cambodia showed the 1907 map that put the temple on their side. Thailand argued that this map was wrong and that the temple should belong to them because it sits on Thai territory. In 1962, the court made its decision. The judges ruled that Previher Temple belongs to Cambodia. Thailand was not happy about this decision, but they accepted it. The temple became a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2008, which made it even more important to Cambodia. Chapter 4. The modern conflict begins. Even though the court decided the temple belonged to Cambodia, the problems didn't end. In fact, they got worse. The area around the temple remained disputed. Both countries stationed soldiers near the border to protect their claims. In 2008, tensions increased dramatically. Thailand was angry that Cambodia got UNESCO recognition for the temple without consulting them. Thai protesters gathered at the border. They carried signs saying, Preah Vihear is Thai. Some politicians used this issue to gain popularity with voters. At the same time, Cambodian soldiers moved closer to the temple to protect it. Thai soldiers also moved to the border area. Soon, hundreds of armed soldiers from both sides were facing each other across an invisible line. The situation became very dangerous. Chapter 5. The fighting begins. On July 15, 2008, the first serious clash happened. Thai and Cambodian soldiers started shooting at each other near the temple. The sound of gunfire echoed across the ancient stones where monks had prayed peacefully for centuries. One Cambodian soldier was killed, and several others were wounded. Both sides blamed each other for starting the fight. Thailand said Cambodia attacked first. Cambodia said Thai soldiers crossed into their territory illegally. The international community watched with concern as two neighboring countries moved toward war. After this first clash, both sides agreed to stop fighting and talk. But the peace didn't last long. The root problems remained unsolved, and tensions continued to build, like pressure in a volcano waiting to explode. Chapter 6. The Deadliest Battles. The worst fighting happened in February 2011. For 4 days, Thai and Cambodian soldiers battled with rifles, machine guns, and even artillery. The ancient temple shook from the explosions. Smoke filled the air where incense had once burned peacefully. 18 people died in these battles. Soldiers from both sides lost their lives. Many more were wounded. Thousands of local people fled their homes, carrying their children and few possessions as bullets flew over their heads. Schools and hospitals near the border closed down. The fighting was so intense that people could hear it from many kilometers away. International news reporters came to cover the story. The world watched as two Buddhist countries, which teach peace and compassion, fought over a sacred temple. This age of yoga, you may remember this, was already going through its own. Chapter 7. International Intervention. As the fighting continued, other countries and international organizations became worried. ASEAN, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, called emergency meetings. They told Thailand and Cambodia to stop fighting and solve their problems peacefully. Indonesia, as ASEAN chair, sent observers to monitor the border. The United Nations also expressed concern. The international community understood that this conflict could spread and affect the stability of the entire region. Both countries felt pressure from their neighbors and trading partners to find a peaceful solution. Tourism which is important for both economies, suffered because visitors were afraid to come to the area. The cost of keeping soldiers at the border was also very expensive. Chapter 8: The Path to Peace. After the deadly 2011 clashes, both sides realized that fighting would not solve anything. They agreed to let ASEAN observers monitor the border area. These neutral peacekeepers helped reduce tensions by reporting what was really happening. In 2013, the International Court of Justice made another important decision. They ruled that both countries must withdraw their soldiers from the area around the temple. This created a demilitarized zone where no armed forces could enter. Today, the situation is much calmer. Both countries still claim the temple, but they have agreed to disagree peacefully. Tourism has slowly returned to the area. Visitors can once again appreciate the beauty of this ancient temple without hearing gunfire in the background. The conflict taught both nations an important lesson. Pride and nationalism can be dangerous when they lead to violence. Sometimes the most courageous thing leaders can do is choose peace over conflict, even when their people want them to fight.
Hi, everyone. Harry here again. What a powerful story from Tom today. You know, when I was listening to Tom talk about the Thai-Cambodian border conflict, I noticed some really useful words that appear frequently in international news. I think we should practice these together because they'll help you understand similar stories from around the world. Let's start with the word dispute. This means a disagreement or argument between people or countries. In our story, Thailand and Cambodia had a dispute about who owned the temple. For example, the two neighbors had a dispute about where to put their fence. Can you say that with me? The two neighbors had a dispute about where to put their fence. One more time. The two neighbors had a dispute about where to put their fence. Excellent. Speaking of disagreements between countries, another important word is territory. This means land that belongs to a particular country or group. Both Thailand and Cambodia claimed the temple area was their territory. Here's an example. The army protected their country's territory from invaders. Let's practice that together. The army protected their country's territory from invaders. And again, the army protected their country's territory from invaders. Great job. That reminds me of another key word from our story, clash. This means a fight or battle between two groups. The Thai and Cambodian soldiers had several dangerous clashes near the temple. For instance, the clash between the two teams resulted in several injuries. Can you repeat that? The clash between the two teams resulted in several injuries. Perfect. Now here's a word that's very important in international relations: sovereignty. This means the right of a country to control its own affairs without interference from others. Both countries believed their sovereignty was threatened by the other's claims. Here's how we use it. Each nation must respect the sovereignty of its neighbors. Let me hear you say it. Each nation must respect the sovereignty of its neighbors. And again, each nation must respect the sovereignty of its neighbors. Wonderful. Finally, let's practice the word heritage. This refers to traditions, buildings, or culture passed down from previous generations. The ancient temple represents important cultural heritage for both countries. For example, we must protect our cultural heritage for future generations. Say with me, we must protect our cultural heritage for future generations. One last time. We must protect our cultural heritage for future generations. Fantastic work, everyone. And that brings us to the end of today's story about the Thai-Cambodian border conflict. I hope you've learned something new about how historical disputes can affect modern relationships between countries. Remember, Understanding these kinds of international issues helps us become more informed global citizens. The most important lesson from this story is that peaceful dialogue is always better than violence, even when we feel very strongly about something. Both Thailand and Cambodia learned that their ancient temple is more valuable as a symbol of peace than as a cause for war. Thanks for sticking around till the end of the story. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss a new story. Practice using today's vocabulary words in your own sentences: dispute, territory, clash, sovereignty, and heritage. These words will help you understand international news much better. Have a wonderful day, take care, and see you next time on Learn English Through Story.